A young couple, deeply in love, faces the unraveling of their marriage after years of bliss. After discovering that his wife had been talking to a man she met on a dating app, the husband forgives her, hoping for reconciliation. However, despite repeated attempts to reignite their bond, their relationship spirals into constant arguments and emotional distance. As the wife becomes increasingly detached, the husband struggles to understand where things went wrong.
I'm in shock. My wife betrayed me. So my wife, 23, and I, 26, have been together for 3 years. We both fell madly in love with each other when we first met. We instantly moved in together. And less than a year after I proposed to her, we finally got married April of this year. We've been married now for roughly 7 months. It was a fantastic wedding, and I can honestly say it was the happiest day of my life. About 4 months ago, I found out that she had been talking to a guy she met online. She had went on a date with him. She came clean about it, and I forgave her. I asked her why she did it, and she said that she felt like our spark was gone and that I wasn't giving her what she needed in our marriage. I forgave her in hopes of change for the better. After that, things were not the same anymore. The arguments were almost non-stop. We would sleep separately, on and off. She would constantly bring up divorce and tell me how I'm not man enough to support her or fulfill her needs. I really tried my best. We ended up going on a little weekend getaway trip in hopes to bring that spark back. 2 weeks after our trip, I found out that she was still talking to the same guy. I forgave her again. I tried to give her everything she needed, physically, emotionally, financially. Again, things seemed like they were going back to normal. A month later, the arguments started again. She would pick fights over the smallest issues, and of course, I was the one to always try to reconcile and make things better. She stopped being intimate with me for 2 whole months at this point. Fast forward to this past week. We've argued like we never have before. She decided the only option left for us was divorce. I told her that I didn't want a divorce. I wanted our marriage and the life we had together. 2 days ago, we reconciled again. We decided that we were going to stay together. As always, with all the faith and love I had for her, I didn't think twice on the possibility of saving our marriage. Fast forward to yesterday, we got into a really big fight. I told her that she was being a terrible wife and that I deserved better. She ended up telling me that she's on multiple dating sites and she wants to see other people and end our marriage. I didn't know what to say to her after she made that comment. I was hurt and I left the house to give myself space to process things. She eventually texted me and said that she was going to start dating other men, she was done with our marriage, and that she is going to file for divorce. She didn't care about my feelings at all. I tried to explain to her that although emotionally she was checked out of the relationship for however long, I was still in love with her, and that it wasn't fair for her to start seeing other men while still living together and being married. By the time I got back home, she was gone. She left behind a letter basically letting me know that she hopes we can still be friends after everything, but that she is going to finally start living her life again. I tried calling her and texting her, but she had blocked me on everything. She didn't come back home until midnight. I tried to talk to her, but she didn't want to have a conversation with me and went straight to bed. Deep down inside, I knew she had been with someone else. In hopes of answers and closure, I grabbed her computer and went through her messages. Her computer is synced with her phone, so all her text messages go to her computer. I dug deep, and I found the most devastating thing I could have came across. She had sex with a guy she had just met yesterday on a dating app. It was their first time meeting. She had texted her best friend that her intention was not to sleep with him, but that she felt like the chemistry was right. Apparently, this guy is rich, tall, and very good-looking. She also told her friend that this is the first time she has had sex in the past 2 months, and ever having sex outside of our relationship. She mentioned that it was exhilarating and that she didn't regret it, and that she would do it again. So here's where I'm at. I'm in complete turmoil. I haven't felt like I could breathe in hours, uncontrollably crying on and off, asking myself every question I possibly could. How could the woman I love so much and put on a pedestal do this to me? How did we get to this point? Am I not good enough? Who is this person I thought I knew and married? What happened to our marriage? And when did she stop loving me? What did I do that wasn't good enough for her? On top of everything, I'm plagued with thoughts of her giving herself to someone else, and it is absolutely destroying me. I never thought the woman I considered to be my soulmate would do this to me. I know our marriage is over, and I know that I will never forgive her. I also accept that whoever she has become, I will never be able to change her. Above all else, I still love her. I still wish things were how they used to be. I wish she would have focused on us and worked harder on our marriage. I know it's going to be a long road of recovering and picking up the broken pieces. It's going to take me a long time to get over this, or past it. I don't feel fully ready for the journey ahead, but I know that I'm going to have to try to move on from her. Everything is still so fresh, and we haven't spoken since she last went out. I'm going to give myself some time to compose myself, to gather my thoughts and feelings before I try to talk to her again. I'm not sure yet if it's even worth confronting her about sleeping with this random guy she met. Update: I feel like I'm finally growing out of this constant cycle I've been going through with my wife. I heard and listened to a lot of what you guys said about not having enough self-respect to value myself enough to not put up with how things have been. For once in our relationship, I stopped playing the pick-me game. I stopped giving in to her demands, and I stopped trying to understand her or forgive her. After that night, where she voiced her desire to end our marriage and ended up sleeping with some random guy she met off a dating app, emotionally, I have detached myself from her. Everything I used to see in her is gone. The woman I put up on a pedestal is no longer in that place. She's been begging to try to save our marriage. The last 2 days, she has relentlessly tried to convince me that things would change. She even went as far as to sexually try to entice me by flaunting herself around the house. Honestly, that pulled me away even harder. She still doesn't know that I know she slept with him. The only thing she knows is that I'm done with her and our marriage. I can say that this is the first time I've ever felt this way and truly have meant every word of not wanting to reconcile with my wife. This is also the first time she has ever fought for me, but I feel like I'm gone. The damage has been done, and that I need to move on with my life. She only started caring once I pulled away completely. I don't think she ever thought that she would lose me. How would she when I've always been there for her and forgiven her? The last interaction I had with her was supposedly her last chance of reconciliation. After days of me not giving in, she finally blamed me for not loving her and for walking away from our marriage. Apparently, I don't love her enough to fix us. She explained to me how she still sees a future and that she doesn't want to lose me. I explained to her that I'm done giving her chances. Instead of focusing on the reasons of why I felt how I did, all she did was blame me for not loving her enough to stay. Now I'm the bad guy. I'm the guy who broke her heart. I'm the one that walked away from her after she didn't get what she wanted, and my response was opposite of what she's used to. Her narrative is that her husband is leaving her because he doesn't love her. She's the victim now, and the one that is in pain and grieving. She spent the last few days crying in her bedroom alone, often letting me know that I'm an awful husband for watching her cry and not comforting her. Honestly, I'm just tired. I'm tired of caring and loving someone that doesn't respect me. Everything I used to see in her is gone. It's bad to say that I've gotten to this point only when she physically got involved with someone else, but that changed everything for me. It's no longer hard to picture a life without her. Does it still hurt? Yes, but I'm not lying to myself anymore and thinking that there's any type of future with her.